Okay, last week, Brother Sunday gave a message in which he talked about people being generally in four different categories, having some major characteristics of like a lion, an otter, a golden retriever, the beaver. And then I just thought, well, because he said a lion, who's the greatest lion of all? And that is Yeshua the Messiah, because he is the Lion of Judah. So that gave me an idea that we should talk about Yeshua as the lion and see some of his characteristics that he has. So that's the title of the message. Yeshua is the Lion of Judah. And in Revelation chapter 5 and verse 5, this is where we get that from. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 5, it says, "The Lion of the tribe of Judah has triumphed. He is worthy to open the scroll and its seven seals." So that's one of the characteristics of this lion is he has triumphed. And who has he triumphed over? The devil, Satan, the devil, all of the demons, all sin, everything that's bad. He has triumphed over that. And he was declared to be the Son of God also when he was resurrected from the dead, ascended as the wave sheaf. He was accepted by the Father. He returned to glory, sat down by the right hand of the Father, and he became the Son of God, not just the Son of Man, but the Son of God. He's also the Lion of the tribe of Judah. So he is worthy to open the scroll and all of its seals. But anyway, so this is a prophecy where it says that the Lion of the tribe of Judah has triumphed. He is worthy to open the scrolls and its seals. And we sang a song about him being worthy. Worthy is the Lord of glory, right? And this is a prophecy for the future that absolutely will be fulfilled. It absolutely will be fulfilled. But now we're going to look at Jacob's prophecy regarding the tribe of Judah. And in this case, this is a prophecy that absolutely has been fulfilled. This was a prophecy that already has been fulfilled. So we have one that has been fulfilled, this prophecy, Jacob's prophecy regarding the tribe of Judah, and one that will be fulfilled, that is the Lion of Judah coming back to this earth triumphantly. All right, so let's turn to Genesis chapter 49, and we want to read verses 8 through 9. This is Genesis chapter 49 and verses 8 through 9. Now you notice that I have things in different colors because we're going to be going through each of these sections individually. Right now we're going to focus on Judah. Your brothers will praise you. Did you know that the name Judah means praise? Right. So when whichever one of the wives or concubines had Judah, it was mentioned that your brothers will praise you. So that's his name, is praise. So think about that. From Judah emanates praise. People from all over will praise Judah. And the question is why? Why will they praise Judah? Why would the other tribes of Israel praise Judah? Well, here's one answer. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. So we're going to be covering that. How was that fulfilled? Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. And all of these physical things are a type of the spiritual thing that the Lion of Judah will fulfill. Your hand will be on the neck of your enemies. Then it says, your father's sons will bow down before you. And then in verse 9, it says, Judah is a lion's cub. So that pictures a small lion that doesn't necessarily have a lot of strength, but I can tell you one thing, they can still be fearful. Christian and I went to a more or less a zoo, and this was a petting zoo, but it had some interesting animals that you could pet. One was a lion. Now, these lion cubs were 3 months old, I think. 3 months old, this is no lie. A lion's paw, a cub, at 3 months old is as big as my face, and I have a big head, right? So it's as big as my head. 3 months, and that's how big their paws are. And so you think about that, that makes sense because as they get bigger, a single lion could actually take down like a warthog with one swipe of its paw because their paws grow to be gigantic and very powerful. But right here, we're talking about a lion's cub. And when it is interacting with other animals, it's not all that, it's not something that necessarily inspires a lot of fear. But as it grows, it starts to inspire a lot of fear in the other animals. But we as people, we need to be careful even when it has to do with Lions Club. Christiane had more courage than me. This is the first time I'm admitting this in public. So she had more courage than I did because I said, listen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep watch as you pet the lion. And I'm going to make sure if anything happens that I jump to your rescue. But I didn't pet the lion. But she did, and it was amazing. So anyway, then it says, from the prey, my son, you've gone up. This is a picture of a lion growing, which now can capture its own prey. So you can imagine a young lion going out and capturing its prey. And then it says, he stooped down, he crouched as a lion. So you've seen a lion when they're crouching and they're ready to attack, or they are ready to defend because they see something else coming around, like hyenas, for instance. That shows that they already have territory that they've conquered, or they have some kill that they've made on maybe a giraffe or something like that. And they're crouched down and they're ready to defend because they are strong. They're confident. Now they're fully mature. And then it says, who will rouse him up? That's like, again, everybody disperses and the lion just lies down. You've probably seen pictures of lions that just lying down resting. It's like nobody's going to mess with them. Why? Because they're the king of the jungle. So we're going to go through this progression and show how this has been fulfilled in the tribe of Judah, and to show that this is a type of what the Lion of Judah, the Messiah Yeshua, will do. So note, from the time or from the tribe of Judah came lion kings, a series of lion kings, who conquered Israel's enemies. And just like a lion is the king of the jungle, from Judah comes the king of the world. And the king of the world is, of course, the Messiah Yeshua. All right, so Judah is a lion's cub. This is the first one. Judah is a lion's cub. In the youth of Israel's conquest, it was Judah who led the way. So in the youth, talking about a lion's cub, that's when they're young. In the youth of Israel's conquest, it was Judah who led the way. So what would have been a time of the youth of Israel's conquest? What would have been the youth of their conquest? Of course, it would be when they were about to go into the promised land, right? That's when they first started to conquer. So that's in the youth of their conquest is when they were about to go into the promised land. And so in Judges chapter 1 and verses 1 through 2 says Judges chapter 1 and verses 1 through 2. And it says, after the death of Joshua, the children of Israel asked of Yahweh, who should go up first for us to fight against the Canaanites? And Yahweh said, Judah shall go up. I have delivered the land into his hand. So, of course, it was Joshua who led them literally to fight at Jericho. And then it was, okay, now we're in the land. So, who's going to be the first one to go into the jungle and start conquering territory? Well, it was the tribe of Judah who has as their standard. Does anybody know what was the standard? Each of the 12 tribes had a different standard. Do you know what was the standard for the tribe of Judah? Huh? A standard. It was a lion. It was a lion. Yeah. That was their standard. What they would hold up would be a lion. Right. The flag. Yeah, the flag of their standard. Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yes, I should have said their flag. Okay, so it was Judah. And this is what Yahweh ordained. Yahweh said, it's going to be Judah that shall go up. I have delivered the land into his hand. So you can see also how it would be Judah who the rest of the tribes would begin to praise, because it would be like us here. One, two, three, count 12 people. Then we get to, and we'll pick Miles. So we're going to pick Miles. Miles represents the tribe of Judah. All of the rest of us represent other tribes of Israel, one of the 12 tribes. And if God said Miles from the tribe of Judah is going to go up and lead the way going out here and conquer all of DeKalb County to bring it under our dominion, then what would we do? We would praise, we would follow him, and we would praise him, because we would say, yes, this is the lion-hearted one. This is the one who will lead us as the king of the jungle to conquer the jungle of DeKalb County. So we would be praising him and thanking him. All right. Then it says, from the prey, my son, you have gone up. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. So Israel became a full grown lion of a nation when its greatest leader, King David, conquered all of its enemies. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. This is again a picture of this lion going out, or Miles taking us out, and we've conquered um, Decatur. What's else in DeKalb County? Stone Mountain. Yeah, Stone Mountain, Stonecrest, and whatever other towns are out there. So one by one, Miles, as the lion, has conquered the jungle of DeKalb County. That's what it's talking about. From the prey, my son, you have gone up. You've killed the prey, and now you've gone up from the prey. So Israel became a full grown lion of a nation when its greatest leader, King David, conquered all of its enemies. And you can see in Psalm chapter 18, it's the whole psalm, but we're just going to read a little bit of it, where David is acknowledging this. This is in Psalm chapter 18. We're going to start in verse 3. Then we'll go through verse 37 through 40, then 43 and 49. But starting in Psalm chapter 18, verse 3. I call on Yahweh, who is worthy to be praised. Didn't we sing that song? Stand up and praise the Lord. He's worthy to be praised. There's none like him. Worthy you, Lord, are worthy to receive all honor and praise. So I call on Yahweh, who is worthy to be praised, and I am saved from my enemies. Verse 37 now. I will pursue my enemies and overtake them. Neither will I turn again until they are consumed. I'm going to keep chasing them down until I catch them and kill them, to devour them. They become the prey. I'm the animal that's preying on them. They are my prey. I will go into battle, and I'm not going to turn back until they are consumed. Verse 38. I will strike them through so that they will not be able to rise. They shall fall under my feet. Now think about this. Strike them so that they will not be able to rise. What's happening in the Gaza Strip right now? In the Gaza Strip, Israel is doing everything it can to wipe the Palestinians off of the face of the earth. I truly believe that in my heart, that that's what Benjamin Netanyahu has in his heart. No regard for the Palestinians. He would prefer to wipe them off the face of the map. And he's doing a lot. But some keep popping up, right? Because they have their tunnels underground. Well, we're talking about David here under God's instruction, and this is righteous as opposed to what's happening under the current leader of Israel. It says, I will strike them through so that they will not be able to rise. They shall fall under my feet. Once I get to them, I'm going to kill them. They're not getting back up. For you have armed me. This is verse 39 now. For you, Yahweh, you have armed me with strength to the battle. So was this prophecy being fulfilled where Yahweh said, Judah is the one that's going to go up, and Judah is the one that will be praised by the rest of the tribes of Israel, because Judah, as the lion, is going to go out and conquer. For you have armed me. That's an acknowledgement. It comes from God Almighty. For you have armed me with strength to the battle. You have subdued unto me those who rose up against me. Now, notice this also in verse 40, because this was what was said by Jacob about the tribe of Judah. You have also given me the necks of my enemies. You have also given me the necks of my enemies. Now, I find that interesting, right? God does not use words just haphazardly. Every single word of God, as it was initially inspired, has some significance. It's just that sometimes we don't catch it. And we might not ever catch everything in this flesh. But when he begins to reveal it, when we become spirit composed, full-fledged, eternal children of God, things are going to start popping out. It's like, wow, it was right there in front of my face. I never knew it. This is so deep. Well, think about this. You have also given me the necks of my enemies. No word is there by happenstance. When a lion kills an animal, what do they go for? The neck. First they'll swipe, but immediately they go to the neck. And God is saying, here is the tribe of Judah that has a lion king who will go straight for the neck of its enemies to kill him. The death blow. Exactly. So you have also given me the necks of my enemies, that I might destroy them that hate me. You have delivered me from the strivings of the people. You have made me the head of the nations. I am the king of the jungle. You have made me the head of nations. A people whom I have not known shall serve me. Therefore, I will, and that was verse 43. Verse 49 now. Therefore, I will give thanks to you, Yahweh, among the nations, and will sing praises to your name. And that's what we just got finished doing, singing praises. Now, I want to show you a video of a lion hunting something down. And what is the chief adversary of lions? What species of animals is the chief adversary of lions? They're always in epic battles. Hyenas, exactly, hyenas. So when a lion sees a hyena, what do you think it's going to do? True, if it's a male lion. Female lions usually don't mess with hyenas because hyenas are also big and they have the strongest jaws of any animals, even stronger than crocodiles. They have the strongest jaws. They can eat through bones very easily. So the female lions don't generally tend to mess with them. But when the king of the jungle comes in, the male lion, man, they scatter like crazy. So you can have 10 hyenas. You can have 3 or 4 lionesses, and they're eating. Those hyena will chase off the lionesses eventually. But 10 hyena, when one male lion comes, they all disperse because they know that's it. It is absolutely amazing. That's the kind of power that we should be thinking about when we think about a lion. Okay, so let's watch this video.
He who greets with fire. He is the hyena killer. the neck, and the new matriarch is dead. The day belongs to the lions. It was not always easy for us to witness these struggles for life. But at the end of it all, perhaps, we came to know more about ourselves and the struggles that rage within our...
Yeah. So you see, the announcer said, went straight for the neck. And you saw how it chased it down. It would not stop. That is like David, what King David did. And that is obviously what Yeshua, the Messiah, will do as the Lion of Judah. Okay, so number 3, he stooped down. He crouched as a lion. You can see a picture here of this lion stooping down, ready to pounce if there's any intruders, whether it's to, because what happens sometimes you might have this male lion who has, maybe a couple of females and a couple of children, and then you have some rogue male lions that want to take over the pride, and he's ready to defend his territory. Or it could be some prey that he's already killed, and other things are gathering around to try to eat it, and it's like, nope, because I am the king of the jungle. And usually once they roar, that's it, things scatter. So Solomon is actually the crouching lion that's always ready to protect his domain. So first we had David as one of the lion kings. Then you have Solomon as one of the lion kings. And they're both from the tribe of Judah. So now let's look in 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 1. This is 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 1. 1 Kings chapter 4 and verse 1. Then we're going to read verses 20 through 21 and then 24 through 25. All right, so Solomon was king over all Israel, all 12 tribes of Israel, Judah and Israel. So the southern house of Judah, the northern house of Israel, as they later became known, were numerous as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. Judah and Israel were numerous as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. What does that say to us? It says to us that they were at peace. Why? Because the enemies had been conquered and no one would rise up against them while the lion kings were leading the nation. And so it says in verse 21, Solomon ruled over all the kingdoms from the river Euphrates to the land of the Philistines and to the border of Egypt. The river Euphrates is up north, talking about going over to where the Philistines were. That's the Mediterranean Sea, coming all the way down to border is the southern part. And of course, at this point, they even had conquered the Moabites, the Ammonites, and I think it was the Hittites. Well, the Hittites were up north. But anyway, conquered all of them on the opposite side, the east side of the Jordan River. So that was their eastern border. So Solomon ruled over all the kingdoms, from the river Euphrates to the land of the Philistines and to the border of Egypt. All these nations brought tribute and served Solomon all the days of his life, because he was one of the lion kings from the tribe of Judah that God blessed. For he had dominion. That's what happens when you have a lion king. The lion is the king of the jungle. He's going to have dominion over his territory, and people don't mess with him. Not when a lion is in the pride of its life. For he had dominion over all the kings on this side of the river, and he had peace on all sides around him. Verse 25, Judah and Israel lived safely, every person under their vine and fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba, all the days of Solomon. And Dan, as a city, was up north. Beersheba was in the south. So again, giving you an idea that all over there was peace and prosperity in the kingdom. And some of the words that God uses as a prophecy about the Lion of Judah, the Messiah Yeshua, when he comes and establishes the kingdom over all the earth, it says everybody will live under their own vine, right? And their own fig tree. So here, again, God is telling us something physical about the tribe of Judah that's also going to be true for all people over the earth, because the Lion of Judah will be ruling over all of the earth. So it says again in verse 25, Judah and Israel live safely, every person under their vine and fig tree, a picture of when the Messiah Yeshua returns as the King of Kings to establish God's kingdom over the earth, and he brings peace and prosperity. And then the question, who will rouse him up? This is point 4. Who will rouse him up? Again, you see a picture of the lions here, and they're just like chilling. It's like, who's going to mess with me? Who will dare to come and rouse me up and challenge my dominion? Nobody. And so the male lion is the king of beasts. When he seizes his prey, none can resist him. When he goes up from the prey, none dare pursue him to revenge it. Judah is compared not to a lion that's running rampant, always tearing, always raging, always ranging, but Judah is compared to a lion that's resting, enjoying the satisfaction of his power and success. So that was the nation of Judah leading as the lead tribe over all of the tribes of Israel. And that is a picture of the millennium when the Messiah Yeshua comes back as the King of Kings and establishes God's kingdom, and there will be rest. And of course, we know that the 7,000th year is a picture of the seventh day of the week, which is today, the Sabbath. And what is the Sabbath? The Sabbath is a day of rest. So the Sabbath pictures the millennium when there will be resting. So who will rouse him up? Nobody is going to challenge the Messiah Yeshua. Now, I had Christian record me as I woke up in the morning. That's how I sound when I wake up in the morning. I am a Leo. My birthday was July 28th. So, as the sign of Leo, it's a lion. So, I'm a lion. Now, the Lion of Judah is about to roar. We again saw at the beginning, Revelation 5, verse 5, that he is called the Lion of Judah. And he's going to triumph. That's a prophecy of the future. We just went and saw a type of what's going to happen in the future with the Messiah Yeshua, where Judah, as a physical tribe, one of the 12 tribes, they led the other nations into battle, and the lion kings came from them. But when will the Lion of Judah roar? When will the Lion of Judah roar? Let's look in Joel chapter 3, verses 12 through 17. This is the book of Joel, chapter 3, and verses 12 through 17. Joel chapter 3 and verses 12 through 17. This is going to tell us when the lion is going to roar. It says, let the nations arouse themselves and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat, for there I will sit to judge all the surrounding nations. This is Yahweh speaking. Put in the sickle, for their wickedness is great. He's speaking through the prophet Joel. Verse 14, multitudes, multitudes in the valley of decision, for the day of Yahweh is near in the valley of decision. Now, notice one of the characteristics of this time. Not only are nations gathered together to battle, this is the Battle of Armageddon, another name for it, just before we destroy ourselves from the face of the earth, probably through nuclear and chemical and biological warfare. So just before that happens, the Messiah will step in, and notice one of the characteristics that's surrounding this time. In verse 15, it says, the sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars withdraw their shining. Does anybody know off the top of their head which of the 7 seals this is? Number 6. Exactly. This is the 6th seal. So if there's 7 seals and this is the 6th seal, doesn't that mean that the 7th seal is coming? And what's the 7th seal? Christ returning, the Messiah Yeshua returning as the King of Kings. All right, so it says the sun and the moon are darkened and the stars withdraw their shining. Verse 16, Yahweh will roar from Zion and thunder from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth will shake. Another sign. But Yahweh will be a refuge to his people. So that song that we listen to for special music, you will be our God and we will be his people. He is our refuge. This is one of the reasons why we can praise. What we're saying is when Yeshua returns to this earth and he fights against all of his enemies and takes them by the neck and bites them to put them down, we are going to be the lionesses and the little cubs, so to speak, that are following this king. He's not going to be against us. And we don't have anything to worry about because he is for us. We are his children and he is our God. He is our Lion King. And it's like, look at Pops go. He just kicked some serious butt. Everything in his path, all of the hyenas are being eaten. He is biting them on the neck, clearing the way for all of us. We can eat them up and clear the land of them. All right, so Yahweh will roar from Zion and thunder from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth will shake, but Yahweh will be a refuge to his people and a stronghold to the children of Israel. Verse 17, then you will know that I am Yahweh, your Elohim, dwelling in Zion, my holy mountain. Then Jerusalem will be holy, and no strangers will pass through her anymore. So we know this is talking about the end time. But because in the mouth of two or three witnesses something is established, let's find a second witness. In Matthew chapter 24 now. Matthew chapter 24 and verses 15 through 31. Matthew chapter 24 and verses 15 through 31. It says, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of through Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place. And we have a series of messages on our YouTube channel about the abomination of desolation. So please check those out if you haven't already. But when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of through Daniel the prophet standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Let those who are on the housetop not go down to take things out of their house. Let them who are in the field not return to get their clothes. But woe to those who are with child and to nursing mothers in those days. Pray that your flight will not be in the winter nor on a Sabbath, for then there will be great tribulation. We know that's the fifth seal. For then there will be great tribulation, such as has not been from the beginning of the world until now, no, nor ever will be. Verse 22, unless those days had been shortened, no flesh would have been saved, but for the sake of the chosen ones, which is us, those days will be cut short. Again, we have nothing to worry about because the Lion King is our king. And we also are destined to be a kingdom of priests, kings and priests. But for the sake of the chosen one, those days will be cut short. If anyone tells you, look, here is the Christ, don't believe it. Know for sure that false Christs and false prophets will arise, and they will show great signs and wonders that will lead many astray, perhaps even possibly some of the chosen ones. Behold, I've told you beforehand. If therefore they tell you, behold, he is in the wilderness, don't go out. Or behold, he is in the inner rooms, don't believe it. For as the lightning flashes from the east and is seen even to the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. Do you know? Well, let me ask you first. When a lion roars, do you know how far away the lion's roar can be heard? Take a guess. Or if you already know, tell me. A lion roars. How far away can a lion's roar be heard? Miles, right? But how many miles? How many miles? You say five? Well, five is exactly right. Five is exactly right. That's right. For 5 miles. So it's like if a lion roars, you're going to know that it's around if you're within 5 miles. So if I say to you, the lion, and if I'm 20 miles away, and I'm saying the lion is here, don't believe it. Because if the lion was there, you would hear the lion roaring, right? So don't get caught up in errors. Now, again, I want to interject something just real quickly. It's really sad. I was talking to one of our brothers in the faith this week, and he used to go to Texas to the Feast of Tabernacles, and they would fellowship with brethren there. Congregation about 200 people. Some stuff went on, and the congregation disintegrated. So that's bad enough. But you would think that after people have gone through the breakup with Worldwide, they survived that deception, right? You would think, man, these are some strong people because they didn't fall away to that stuff. They were not led astray. But the unfortunate part is some of these people have turned back to Sunday worship, and some of those don't even worship at all. They're like agnostic now, maybe even atheists. That's really sad because it means that even though they survived the deception of Satan coming in using Joseph Tkach, Senior, Junior, Bernie Snippert, and the others, Mike Fazell, all those who were led by Satan to introduce error, to draw people away. They survived that. But then when other stuff hit the fan, they couldn't survive that. So when it comes to us, we have to hold fast till the end. Don't let go. Okay, make sure that another analogy is Yeshua is our firm foundation. He is the anchor of our soul. He is our high tower of strength, our refuge. He is the solid rock. He is our bread of life. He is the rivers of living water. He's our chief shepherd. All of those great things. Hold on to him. Hold fast to that which you have. Let nobody take your crown because you are destined to also be a lion king. And he says in verse 25 again, behold, I have told you beforehand. If therefore they tell you, he is in the wilderness, don't go out, or he is in the inner rooms, don't believe it. For as the lightning flashes from the east and is seen even to the west, so will be the coming of the Son of Man. He uses the analogy of lightning. It's very obvious, just like a lion's roar is obvious within 5 miles. So don't believe nonsense, believe the scriptures. Now, continuing, as the lion roars. This is in verse 28, Matthew 24, verse 28. For wherever the carcass is, again, notice this, although he's using now the analogy of the vultures, but wherever the carcass is, when a lion kills a prey animal, it usually leaves some of the meat and the bones. Like, I don't know if you knew this. A lion will only eat the meat off of an animal, won't eat the bones. They don't want to crack their teeth. That's left to the hyenas. And even the entrails, the inner parts, the guts, lions don't eat that. That's left for either the hyenas or the vultures. So again, it says wherever the carcass is that the lion has killed, it's feasted off of, it's rose up from the prey and it's crouching to make sure nobody bothers it. Then it lies down, it's resting, and nobody dares stir it up. So wherever the carcass is, that is where the vultures gather together. So that's another sign. If you see vultures near a carcass, you know that a lion has been there to kill it. All right. But immediately, so these are signs that God are talking about. But immediately after the great tribulation, which is the fifth seal of those days, then the sun will be darkened, just what we read in Joel. And Sister Marilyn got it exactly right. It is the sixth seal. And as we read in Revelation 5, verse 5, it is the Lion of Judah who is worthy to open the seven seals on the scroll. So here is the sixth seal. that's being opened and is being opened to our understanding. But immediately after the great tribulation of those days, which is the fifth seal, then comes the sixth seal. The sun will be darkened, the moon will not give its light, the stars will fall from the sky, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. This is taken directly from the book of Joel. And then the seventh seal. And then the sign of the Son of Man will appear in the sky. Then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man, the Lion of Judah, the Lion King, coming on the clouds of the sky with power and great glory. He will send out his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they will gather together his chosen ones, that's us, from the four winds, from one end of the sky to the other. A beautiful, beautiful picture. And then what will it be like once the Messiah Yeshua is here? Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 through 9. We talked about reposing. After the lion eats, it rises up from the prey. It's ready to protect anything. It also ushers in a time of rest. The pride is secure. It can lay down and sleep because the Lion King is there to protect the pride. So in Isaiah chapter 11, verses 1 through 9, it says, a shoot will come out of the stock of Jesse, and a branch out of his roots will bear fruit. So, of course, Jesse was the father of David, and then from David came Yeshua the Messiah. In verse 2, Yahweh's spirit will rest on him, which is the spirit of wisdom and understanding, the spirit of counsel and might, the spirit of knowledge and of the fear of Yahweh. His delight will be in the fear of Yahweh. He will not judge by the sight of his eyes, neither decide by the hearing of his ears, but with righteousness he will judge the poor and decide with equity for the humble of the earth. Thank God for that. He will strike the earth. We won't have to worry about a corrupt Supreme Court that gives power to wicked people to say that there is a king, a dictator who is not held accountable by law. No, that's not how it's going to be. He's going to be the judge, the only judge that is the Supreme Court. And he will make sure that he decides with equity for the humble of the earth. He will strike the earth with the rod of his mouth and with the breath of his lips. He will kill the wicked. He will bite the neck of his enemies. Verse 5, righteousness and faithfulness will be the belt of his waist. The wolf will live with the lamb, and the leopard will lie down with the young goat. The calf, the young lion, and the fatted calf will dwell together, and a little child will lead them. The nursing child will play near a cobra's hole, and the weaned child will put his hand on the viper's den. They will not hurt nor destroy in all my holy mountain, for the earth will be full of the knowledge of Yahweh as the waters cover the sea. And so you see a lion, a male lion, together with a lamb, and together with children, and together with the Lion King, the Messiah Yeshua, the King of Kings. So my question to you is, are you ready to roar?